And really the UI and the graphics, that's your best advertisement. When you're trying to reach 10 million people, or 100 million, there's just no ad budget that you can use. You really have to use the people who are your users. So this is the way that you make an application that people want to show off, and then it spreads. Okay. And UIs are the thing that people show off the most. It's not the functionality itself, really. So, then I have a section called Polish the Turd. And some people say that well, actually, a while ago, there were things called UI designers. These days, they are all called UX designers. And I think that's kind of wrong, because they're actually doing the tiny bit, and all of a sudden they are like, okay, we're doing everything, because UX is everything. So graphics are getting way too much attention in the whole user experience thing, in my opinion. And really, I mean, if you polish a turd, will it still be a piece of shit? And I think not, really. I mean, have you looked at these lihapulla things, or I mean, you eat them, right? I eat them, and if you look at what goes into those things, God, it's chicken skin and whatnot mixed together. And the same goes for applications, really. I mean, there's apps that have no business being so popular as they are, so liked, because they're just polished. One example being Sampopankki. I mean, there's a great superpower behind it. You're actually able to use your bank mobile with a mobile, and the graphics look good, but the UI design, I mean, what the hell? You have like 3 options, and for that they give you this spinning wheel that you can't read because find this. It says, yeah, that's what it says there, great. And the whole idea of playing Wheel of Fortune with your bank account is also kind of intimidating. So you kind of hope that I don't fall in the bankrupt sector, which is there. And you actually spin that around, and then you make selections. And I mean, but the rating is 4.5 stars, just because it's a good superpower and it has cool graphics, I guess. I don't know. I mean, because it just shouldn't happen. But then again, if you look at other things, like there's Angry Birds, there's a new game called Shadowgun. Of course, Angry Birds sells more than Shadowgun. I mean, if you look at the graphics, that looks like a 3-year-old made compared to the other one. So it doesn't scale indefinitely. Of course, in the case of Angry Birds, the user experience doesn't come from the graphics itself only. It's based on the realistic physics, the slingshot, which is just so easy to use, and the black bird, because that's awesome. Okay, so polishing to a degree works. What else works, and I want to go back to the Sampopankki thing, is gimmicks. I mean, that's the biggest gimmick ever. I mean, it makes no sense, but it's kind of cool because it spins around, right? It's animated and everything. And I did a similar thing with Polymer 3D, which was that in the menus were actually on that board. So when you selected your level or you selected your game format or whatnot, there was always the ball on the labyrinth. So when you moved it around, it actually moved on the menus. And you looked at the reviews, and the people were like, oh, and the coolest feature is that there's a ball on the menus. And it has nothing to do with how fun the gameplay is or how rewarding it is, or, I mean, people bought it because it had ball on the menus. And people get that because it spins. And people show it off to others because it spins. And it's these little things that have no actual meaning that really shape how your application does on the app stores. And one of the reasons why gimmicks work is that the balance of traditional usability on the mobile is very skewed. Because usually we have like learnability, satisfaction, efficiency, memorability, and error proneness. I mean, these are metrics for usability. And on the mobile, the only things that really matter learnability and satisfaction, because people have so short attention spans that if you don't give them very instant gratification, so very quick learnability and satisfaction, it doesn't matter if it's very efficient down the line. It's not like they're going to spend a day learning to use it and then like, oh yeah, this is good. And even the errors, I mean, they don't care if it crashes, if it's good. And that's why the mobile code, the code that people write for the mobile applications, that has to be the worst code ever, at least in projects that I've come across. Not my own, mine's beautiful. But, you know, from the outside, those things, always horrible, horrible things. Maybe also because the Android is fat. Oh, never mind. Okay, that's a problem, the whole balance thing, because it's balanced so much towards learnability and quick satisfaction. Because there are product concepts where the tech requires a longer period of time. And we had this problem with Gamebook. And this is a real-time scorekeeping application for golf. And it needs a lot of data entry. It needs a lot of stuff before you can actually go to the game and have fun. And there's a lot of hardcore golfers that, you know, want a ton of features. A ton of features, so they even want to have this application, which kind of makes it so that we need like a minute or 2 minutes before you can actually do anything with it. You're just setting up things. So we need to make it smarter and smarter. So it selects the course based on your location. It selects you as a player based on your phone book, so it kind of guesses that you're actually playing yourself. And a lot of stuff like that, just to make it so that you can actually quickly get into the real action. And then there's applications which just have it too easy, like Shazam, and this is one of my sort of favorite UX applications ever, because it launches, you have this huge button, you press the huge button, and it tells you what music is playing. I mean, how could you even mess that up? Because, by the way, they did. And this is, I mean, did you know that Shazam was actually, I mean, the first version of it launched in 2002? I mean, because nobody had heard of this company before iPhone. But the service actually existed from 2002, and it was a service where you called a number, like a, I don't know, a sex line. Like you called there, and then they thought, yeah, play the music now, and then you like hit the phone, and then they send it with a text message, and it didn't work. I don't know why. One would think that even that would work, but when finally they had the application, now they have 300 million downloads across platforms. So that's pretty huge. But I mean, that's just so wrong, because they have the superpower so easily accessible. Just one button, no data entry, no anything. So it's just, the balance is towards being quick and being satisfactory. So sometimes it's easier to do than others. So I mean, when you're thinking about your technology magic, you can also think of this. Is it feasible to ever have it on mobile? Is it too hard anyway? Okay.